There was a big crowd on hand at the breakfast gala at the Coast Capri Hotel to welcome the 2015 inductees into the 8th Annual Central Okanagan Sports Hall of Fame Induction Ceremony. In the Pioneer Athlete category, Wayne Hicks was part of Kelowna's first BC Midget Hockey title in 1953. He later would become the only Kelowna minor hockey product to have his name engraved on the Stanley Cup as a member of the 1961 Chicago Blackhawks.
It was exciting. Got the key to Chicago. You took us down to the city council. They took us on a fire truck. The whole 9 yards.
Thanks for my selection to the Hall of Fame. Very honored and humbled to be given such a great honor. The Okanagan Valley has produced so many great athletes over the past decades, and it's overwhelming to me that I mention the same breath with some of the best.
In the athlete category, the Hall of Fame is recognizing a couple of Kelowna women who had stellar careers in racquetball and gymnastics.
It's really interesting how your career sort of evolves. It started out kind of like innocent and exciting, and then it felt like a bit of pressure by the end. But in 2007, that was really exciting because that was in Canada, and it was my second time winning.
Jumping on my backyard trampoline. I used to go out after dinner, and my mom used to think, oh my gosh, you just ate, but I would love it. I would play with the neighbors and run around, playing tennis and going swimming and playing soccer even when I was 6, 7, 8. So I think just being involved in lots of different sports in Kelowna and having my parents so involved and my brother so involved, those are my fondest memories of sport in Kelowna.
Christy Van Hees is the best racquetball player Canada has ever produced. Starting in 1988, she won 8 consecutive Canadian national junior titles. In 1997, she captured her first of 6 Canadian crowns. Then in 1998, she pounded her way to her first World Championship. Christy would add a trio of U.S. Open titles and held the world's top ranking in 2005.
Exceptionally, overwhelmed with being able to find something that I love from a very, very young age. And people search for that for their whole lives, and I found it young, and I just went with it and lived it.
Former volleyball coach Rod Belinsky goes to the Hall in the builder category. Despite not playing the sport much, he steered the KLO Cougar boys to 5 provincial championships and qualified for provincials in 20 of 21 years at the helm. He was described as strict but fair.
I look back on some of the stuff I was getting kids to do early on, and it was wrong. But because we were all doing it, because I had them believing that it was the right thing to do. In the very early teams, maybe where they were standing on the court, I'd say, no, you stand there. This is where I want you. And I look back on it, I'm going, well, I probably wouldn't do that again. And yet we were successful with it, But that's the way teams work. You get everybody pull in the same direction, and that was my philosophy. Find a role for every kid on the team.
Receiving the Bennett Award for special recognition were John and Jennifer Hindle, who started the Apple Triathlon in 1983 and junior racing ski programs at Big White and Silver Star. The Sports Hall of Fame is inside the Okanagan Heritage Museum and is now accepting nominations for next year. The forms can be found at the Kelowna Museum's website.